Hello guys and girls, and welcome to everything new in the automation update for oxygen not included. And boy oh boy, is there a lot of stuff to show you. I'm very excited. I think this update has been the most exciting one so far, judging by the comments I've seen on Twitter and elsewhere. Anyway, we're going to dive straight in to all the new stuff that we've got. First of all, let's take a look at our research tree. Here we go, and there's been so much more that has been added to the research tree. I'm not going to go through every single little thing in detail. You can find this out when you go into the game, but some of the items that we'll be talking about, of course, we'll be going through those. So, valve miniaturization. So we've got little mini pumps, which we'll be talking about. We've got traffic control. Low resistant conduits, advanced automation, that's another new one. We have metal refinery. Don't forget this is pre-release as well, so if you see some missing text and things, don't worry about that. Environmental protection, home luxuries we've had, but we've got metal tiles now, which is something new. What have we got in here? Improved ventilation, we've got gas shutoff, there's all sorts of things being added. Let's have a look. Health, get refined objects. Yeah, we've got a couple of things there. Generic sensors, that's new. Fossil fuels, no, that's old, don't get all excited. Automation control, very cool stuff. Brute force refinement. Goodness me, and I think that is more or less it for this section here. A couple of little UI changes. Now you can see what research points you get when you get the supercomputer, which is very handy. So, I put together just this little basic setup just to show you guys what's going on. So, where do we start? Well, the main thing is going to be the automation update. So, we have an automation overlay. So, as you would normally do, if you go to something like the electrical overlay, you can see the sockets, you can see your wires. With the automation overlay, you can see the automation connections that you have, and we now have some gates that have been added to the system. What gates do we have? Well, let's go to the automation panel at the end here. We've got automation wire. So this works in the same way as electrical wire, but it passes the automation signal. So is it on? Is it off? That gets passed down these wires. Automation wire bridge works the way you would think. We've got an AND gate, an OR gate, an XOR gate, a NOT gate, a buffer gate which holds a signal for a short time, a signal switch. So that's not a power switch, that's a switch for a signal. Then we have a clock sensor. So a timer, which is really cool for turning things on and off. A pressure plate, which you can change the pressure of. A duplicate checkpoint. So these are how the items look in the world. They're pretty big, but you can build in front of them. They have their own layer. So it's the same as electrical wires. You can hide them behind things. If we let's put it into debug mode. Take like one of these gates. You can pop that there and it would be behind. So, I mean, you could actually tuck them away and lose sight of them. And then you've got the automation overlay and you can find them again. So that is how that works. There we go. Let's get rid of that. So, yeah, let's go back to here. Let's just turn that off so we can see. Let's put the overlay on. So, as you can see, if we grab, for instance, some of the automation wire, you've got an in and an out. So, the white is the in, the black is the out. And you would just attach those in like that. There we go. And you have your output. And you can set up all sorts of gates. I'm not going to go into the details of how an AND gate or an OR gate works in this video. I've got some cool contraptions and ideas which I'll come up with another video for. If you want to see that, hit the big B at the T with the T stain at the end to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss out. But what else have we got? So let's get Stinky to move out of the way. Excuse me, Stinky, you are in the way. Thank you very much. So here we have the signal switch for turning things on or off, and you can manually set that, and then a dupe will come along and flick the switch. That's the automation wire bridge. Again, some of the graphics may change, so, you know, I like this. I like this blue wire, the automation wire. It's like a computer wire, doesn't it? With like a sort of a bus at the end or something like that. And then we have moving on to the next one. So that's everything in the automation one. I mean, already you might be thinking, oh my goodness, there's so much stuff I can just do with that. Well, wait, there's more. The duplication checkpoint is quite good. The duplicant checkpoint. Dupes will not pass that unless it has a automation signal. So you can set that as a gate to stop dupes coming in and out of a certain area. Automated airlocks, anybody? Yep, I know you're thinking it, but there we go, we have those. That's the pressure plate, so you can adjust the weight above or below. We've seen that sort of setting before. So again, that will send out an automation signal. There we go. So you can set that up for different things. And the clock sensor, time of day sensor. So you've got percentage. Let's have a look at this here. We'll send a 1 after the turn on timer and a 0 after the turn off timer. So, yep, that makes sense. So, yeah, a bit of fiddling around to get that working, but a clock sensor for certain times of the day to turn lights on and off. Maybe you could use it for something like that. So, excellent. What do we have next? Well, let's talk about this, the Thermo-Shift Plate. It doesn't turn around. These graphics, I'm sure, are going to be changed, but it doesn't spin. What it acts as is a massive heatsink. It will also take on the properties of whatever item you make it out of. I'm trying to think which panel this one is in. Utilities. So you can make it out of some of these new metals. We'll be talking a bit about those as well. Wolframite, got tungsten, sand, cement. We've seen that one before. Steel, mercury. Oh my goodness me. Ceramic. What have we got down the end here? Granite, electrum. And there's more carbon fibre, propane. Good grief, there's more than I thought. Gold amalgam, that's different. Sandstone we've seen. Glass, clay. So you can actually make things out of coal. Abyssalite we've seen. Iron, missing string element, slab. Iron ore. So the difference now between iron ore and iron, again, we'll come back to that. You can make things out of dirt. No way. Huh. That is excellent. We have cement. It's just going around in the circle. And pyrite. There we go. So basically what that does is act as a massive heatsink. If there was a lot of heat in one area, it would dissipate the heat around the 9 blocks there. It's like a 3x3 in size. So that would help in an area where you've got a machine and you want to start moving the heat around, dissipating it away from the machine. You can put one of these Thermo-Shift plates down. I don't think they have any automation stuff attached to them. No, they don't. They just work all the time passively in the background. Let's carry along from the back here. So we've done the automation one. The stations, I've just put the exosuit forge down. It's had a bit of a makeover. I'm liking that new look. Quick sip of tea. And yeah, I think that looks really cool. I haven't seen it in action yet, but that is looking very nice. I think the textile loom has had a slight colour tweak as well, which is always nice to see. Furniture, there's nothing new in the furniture one, if I remember correctly. Nothing new in the medicine one. That's all the same. Now we get to the refinement category. Okay, so let's talk about metal refinery. There's 3 different ways in the game at the moment that you can do metal refinery. The hardest way is to take some of the ore that you would normally dig up. So what you'd find in the world, the copper ore, let's have a look. Here we go, copper ore like that, or the gold ore if you go a little bit further afield. Iron ore, things like that. You could take those and you can build the normal machines that you are used to building. But if you want to refine them to be able to build some of the automation items, so if you look here, these are maybe tungsten, steel, gold rather than gold ore, and iron rather than iron ore, which is what things are normally made out of. And we just grab, say, a liquid pump. So gold amalgam, wolframite, copper ore. There we go. There's an example. So it refines them to be able to build the automation stuff. So you have options. The hardest option is to heat them up. So if you manage to heat them up to the point where they melt into a liquid, then they'd re-solidify and they would become a refined version of what they were before. That's one way of doing it. Very difficult way of doing it. I mean, the temperatures that you get right down the bottom here. Let's have a look. 1,500 plus degrees. You could probably do something with that. But that would be the hardest thing. The first way you're going to come across doing it is with the rock granulator, which is this machine here. Temporary graphics, as we can see. And you can set that to make all of these different items, as you can see in here. And then you get a byproduct. So, for instance, we'll put in some copper ore, and the effect we'll get is copper. So that's refined from the copper ore. And we'll get a byproduct of sand. So it's a way of making sand. And then, for instance, pyrite, we'll get copper and sand. Iron ore, we'll get iron and sand. So there's all sorts of different ones here. Electrum, and we'll get gold and sand. Some of these, what have we got here? Wolframite. We'll get tungsten. Oh, okay, excellent. I haven't been through all of these and looked at them. Granite, we'll just get sand. Oh, there we go. So if you want something just to make sand, we can use up all of that extra rock that we have lying around. That's definitely going to help. Obviously you queue that up, somebody will come along, they will do the work. It needs electricity, it takes 240 watts, so not too bad for starting of the game. There's no animations with it yet, so I won't show you that, but that's how that one works. So that's probably the easiest one. And then in between that, the easiest one and the hardest one, which is running it through heat, we have the metal refinery. With the metal refinery, you get less sand, more ore. It also heats up water. It needs a water input. So it will take water in. Tests are being done at the moment. It seems it may take polluted water as well as normal water. But it will output hot water, but you will get more out of your setup. So there we go. You can put... Oh, there's less things you can put in there. Oh, I'm assuming this will only make the metals. Yes, it does. Whereas the other machine will make the sand if you want it as well with the other recipes. So, but that's something a bit later game, this refinery. Let's just have a quick look. Refinement. What does that take? Minus 1.2 kilowatts. Yeah, you're looking at real end game stuff there, aren't you? So, excellent. So that is the metal refinement. Very, very excited about that. Let's go through. So utilities, we spoke about the thermal plate. Excellent heating item. Now we're going to get to valves and things like that. We have a lot of new pumps and valves. So let's go through these in order so we don't miss any. We have a mini gas pump, which is this one here. So it's the same as a normal gas pump. It will pump less. It uses less electricity, but it's smaller in size, obviously, than the normal gas pump. You can see it's half the size. So if you're building perhaps an automated airlock, as I mentioned before, something like that would take up a lot less space and be a lot easier to use. Let's just compare that quickly. So a gas pump, power 240, pumps 500 grams a second. Mini pump 60 watts, 50 grams a second. There we go. There's probably some other differences there. Oh, and it's got automation, of course, which you can add onto there, which a normal gas pump... Let's pop that in. Would not have... Oh, it does have automation as well. Beg your pardon. I didn't think it did. But, yeah, smaller in size, so a lot easier to be able to do things with that. Mini gas pump. We have the gas shutoff. Now, this is interesting. So, only 10 kilowatts of power, and you can have automation control over that, and it will shut down gas going through a circuit. Not a circuit, you know what I mean, going through gas pumps. So that is a very interesting addition as well. And then we've got a similar thing on the plumbing side. If you scroll down there, we have a mini liquid pump. So instead of 240 watts and 10 kilograms a second, this one is 60 watts and 1,000 grams a second, or a kilogram a second. So 1/10 of the water, but that looks very good. And then we have a liquid shut-off valve. There we go. At the moment, it looks the same as a liquid valve. They may change that, I'm sure. I don't know, is that exactly the same? Yeah, it's exactly the same. So I'm sure they'll change that, make it look a bit different. But that does the same thing. That will take an automation signal, and that will shut off the liquid going through. So very cool. Next on the list is, we have this one here, the power shut-off. Oh, we'll get to that one. There's nothing new in food and the power. Here we go. So you can see the graphics. I'm sure the wires have changed. They look a bit different. And we have a lot more wires in here as well. So we have the normal wire, heavy watt wire, heavy watt joint plate, now conductive wire bridge, heavy conductive wire plate, and the power shut-off, which is that one there. There we go. So what is the difference with all of these wires? At the moment, they look sort of similar. So if I put a normal wire in, whoops, next to that one, it looks the same. So that may change as well in the future. But let's have a look at these. So normal wire, max power, 1,000 watts. Let's go up to conductive wire. There we go, 2 kilowatts. And heavy watt wire, 20 kilowatts. Heavy conductive wire, 20 kilowatts. Shouldn't that be more? Yeah, either I'm missing something or that one should take even more than the heavy watt wire. We shall see. I'm sure they'll be fixing any bugs and things that come up in the game. But of course, you've then got the conductive wire bridge, which goes with that, and the heavy, spelt heavy, conductive joint plate. So there we go. That is some cool additions to the game for sorting out your power situations. Something else we have, which is really cool, is the fire pole. Let's move Stinky up to here, and he will climb very slowly up the fire pole. And while he's doing that, we'll talk about why this is a good thing in a moment. We also have metal tiles. You can see these along the bottom here, which they need the graphic changing in there, of course, but I think they look cool. They are made with gold or copper at a 50% run speed. They're shiny, they're pretty, and they transfer heat effectively. Ah, very cool, very cool. But I like those. There we go. Stinky's finally got to the top. Let's bring Stinky down. Right, we're going to do a test. We are going to move Stinky to the pole, and we are going to move Ari to over here. I mean, this is a very... Oh, you're both going to take that. Okay. Well, they obviously don't choose the fastest way to go up, so that may end up getting changed at some point, because it would be handy if they did, because going up a fireman's pole, as you can imagine, takes absolutely flipping ages. So let's get them into their positions. Right. So was that the right way round? Yes, it is, because they're stood still. What we're going to do now is we're going to bring Stinky. We want Stinky to move to here, and we want Ari to move to here. And I'm hoping that you're not going to come over here and use the pole. I'm just wondering, to make you not do that, I'm going to put this in here. So you can't go that way. Yep, there we go. Excellent. Right, so let's do a test. Let's unpause. And there goes Stinky, and he's there already. How about that? And I've removed the only food source that these poor guys had in here. Never mind. But there we go. Excellent. So that is an excellent, fast way of getting up and down in your base. Yeah, so you can use that to whiz around. I'm already thinking of automation gates and things we can use, so they always go down with this and up with a ladder. That would be excellent, wouldn't it? Okay, so the last thing I want to check out is changes to the world gen. There has been some additions to the world gen. Again, spoiler warning, if you don't want to see these things you're going to discover, look away now, but subscribe before you go. Let's have a look around. There is some cool things. There was something I found down here. Look at this. There is something hidden behind this ice over here. So let's clean that out. There we go. And what do we have here? Let's just clear that floor so we can get a good view of that. We have a missing string building prefab massive heatsink. Ah, what is this weird contraption? Wow. People have been testing it out, and it seems to remove heat from gases. It doesn't have, let's have a look, it doesn't have an automation overlay. It doesn't have a pipe or, oh, it has a gas pipe. Ah, there we go. So you pipe gases in, and obviously being a massive heat sink with a huge surface area, it will cool gases down, and I'm assuming the gases will just naturally, well, they'll have to, there's no output. The gases would naturally seep into the area cooler than they went in. That is going to be absolutely fantastic. You can't build it, you can't, oh, you can deconstruct it, but you can't build it. So I think once you've found one, you want to absolutely keep that going. So that's probably a good addition in a coal biome, a good reason to go to coal biomes. Oh, that one's entombed. Other than just the wheezeworts, plus it would keep an area cool. I don't know how cool the gases will come out the other end, but that could start really helping you to, yeah, keep your bases cool. We've got a few changes into the layouts. Here we go. What have we got going on here? We've got a pressure plate. Let's see if we can put a dupe in here. Control F2. There we go, Ari. Let's get Ari to move over to here and see what happens. So pressure plate, pressure plate, pressure plate, and through the door. Excellent. So these are AND gates. So it's got a signal from that one and a signal from that one. It would go. I'm not sure that works the way it should do. Let's get Ari to move back to over here. Let's just dig and get rid of that. Here we go. Ari, are you able to go through that door the other way? You are. Okay, let's just watch what happens on the automation overlay. If we get Ari to move into there. So you could dig these things up and you could use them, couldn't you? Before you have the ability to actually make them yourself. Oh, no, you can't. What am I talking about? You dig them up and move them. If you haven't researched them, you can't rebuild them, can you? Duh. Okay, here he comes. Let's see what happens. There we go. On signal. But that's still off because this is an AND gate. It needs both on. There we go. That one came on. Yeah. Oh, and it beeps as well. I didn't notice that. Ah, so I'm not quite sure what that would do. I'm wondering whether that is attached to the neural vacillator. No, it isn't. Interesting. Anyway, I'm not sure that circuit worked the way it should have worked. But, so we've got one here. A clock. Are they new? Have I not seen those before? Some more automation stuff going on in there. Let's have a look. What else can we find around? Ooh, there seems to be something hidden in there. I think that's another Massive heatsink. Yes, it is. So there's another one. Ice biomes seem to be the place to go for your massive heatsinks. Right, and down here at the very bottom of the map, in the hottest section, we have... There we go. There's another new one with a locked door. The door cannot be manually controlled. Interesting. That one is not showing the automation items for some reason. Oh, that's weird. Okay, well, the automation overlay is broken for that section there. Pre-release, folks, pre-release. But this is all going to AND gates. AND gates and AND gates. A NOT gate. I wonder what if that's just opening the door so nobody's to get into there if you turn all the switches on. Interesting. And there's another one over here. Here we go. Again, there's a duplicant way to get through there. Some switches, some AND gates. Oh, you can turn them around when you place them. That's always worth knowing, isn't it? Excellent. That's very hot, though, to get down there, isn't it? Not too bad, not too bad. But there we go. That is all I found inside the map. But I'm really excited about these new additions. If you are too, let me know in the comments below. What sort of things are you going to be making? I would like to know about that. If you enjoyed this, everything new in the new update, hit the big B with the T stain to subscribe for my regular Oxygen Not Included series, which has been going on now with the new update. We'll probably start a brand new series, as we always do, to get some of the new terrain gen and stuff. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. That is greatly appreciated. Share it with your friends as well. Oh, they're suffocating. That's probably this poor guy up here. Oh, it's my poor dupe over here. Well, Harry... good luck to you, and I will see you guys very soon in the next episode of Oxygen Not Included. Take care. Bye-bye.